So I saw a comment on the GameTunes No-visor series, one of their videos. Like, what if Player was... No. What if No-visor was a future version of Player and all that? So I have a theory made out of this. Like, I saw a comment made an entire universe or theory out of this. So, what if there were two different timelines? The one where No-visor was created and the one where Player, which is current in the GameTunes channel now, is, two different timelines. So, in No-visor, aka the past player's future player's timeline, he won so much to the point where he got trapped in the game's coding, kind of like similar to Aiden, except it was a different kind of story, and, he went insane, and he couldn't look at his own reflection anymore and pulled out his visor, right? So, he finally found out a way to travel through timelines to go to where GameTunes Player is now, to that timeline, and he told Poopy Farts about what happened to him in his universe, and then Poopy Farts told Gentleman, Rhea, Mr. Egg, the ghosts that were warning Player about No-visor's corporeal form and stuff. Like, they warned him about that, and, while they were doing the ritual, they couldn't tell Player, they were telling him about his corporeal form and all that. What if they, and they couldn't finish what they were trying to say, saying that No-visor was trying to prevent something from happening because something had pulled them back, right? So, no one could understand Poopy Farts, and that was their only chance of knowing. So, after all that happened, Player was worried because he didn't know the actual truth, so he was trying to defeat No-visor, but No-visor was trying to capture Player, because if he killed him, it would technically kill No-visor too, because it's different time, because they're in the same timeline at that time, and if No-visor had killed Player, it would kill him too, because technically they're both in the same timeline at the moment. So, Player finds out he can defeat No-visor, and No-visor is going back to his normal self because No-visor glitched to Player for a few seconds. So he was glitching to his normal self from his old timeline because Player was starting to realize that he could defeat No-visor in a way, and Dr. Doctor told him a whole fake story about Aiden getting trapped in the game. Well, technically not fake, he was just telling him that his son did get trapped in the game, but No-visor only captured Aiden because he needed to lure Player and the others to him so he could try and warn him, but his insanity was so strong to the point where he couldn't snap out of it and tell him the truth, so, yeah. And then after Player had, cut No-visor in half, like, defeated him and all, a spirit of Player's old timeline, like, from the No-visor timeline, Player, from his old timeline, and the one that's present to the canon lore of GameTunes now, the one from No-visor's timeline was thanking him, saying that he prevented something bad from happening in the future, and Player didn't understand, and after everyone got, like, back to normal, after all the No-visor stuff happened, Poopy Farts was the only one to remember what happened, and he told Captain what happened, so Captain told, like, everyone else, and then everyone else told Player what happened, and Player meets his old self from a different timeline again, like, he finds out how to get back, and he says, tell Engineer about this, please, I need you to save me from my timeline. So, he tells Engineer, and Engineer knows the existence of multiple universes, right? So Player tells Engineer about it, and then he looks into it, trying to find out how he can get to that No-visor universe. And then the No-visor universe Player comes back and says, tell Engineer about what happened to me. Like, tell him what happened to me, tell him what universe I'm in, tell him everything you can of what I'm going to explain to you right now. And he explains his entire story to Player, and then Player understands and goes to tell Engineer about it. and engineer finds out a way to get to the No-visor universe, and as of now, in this part of the timeline, they're working on a plan to try and save the player from the No-visor universe, as they're working on a way to get into that universe. So is this a good theory, or would it make sense?